Okay, good morning. Welcome to
MathIdeas81.
What? I couldn't hear you.
MathIdeas81.
81 will be
Fun.
fun. Okay, here we go. Tinky has 4 more bones than Whiskey. If she gives Whiskey 2 bones, how many more bones than Whiskey will Tinky have? What do you think about this problem? How would you like to approach it?
We could draw a picture.
Okay. Let's draw a picture. That sounds like fun. Alright, what do you want to make for your first picture?
Actually, I want to make a chart.
Oh, okay. That's fine. You can make a chart. Oh, the marker's not so good, is it? Sorry about that. Why don't I try to draw? Is that what you were trying to draw? And what do you want? Here, why don't you draw this one?
I think we'll need a little bit more space.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, that's a good looking chart. Okay. What do you want to be in the rows of your chart?
Number of bones.
Okay. So we'll call this is the number of bones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then what's going to be in this column here?
Let's see.
How about Tinky?
Tinky.
This is the number of bones Tinky has. How about this will be the total number of bones, and this will be the bones Whiskey has. Okay. So let's look at some examples. It says Tinky has 4 more bones than Whiskey. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's a number of bones that Tinky might have?
Maybe throw that 10 bones.
Okay, so if she has 10 bones, how many bones does Whiskey have?
6 bones.
Okay, great. And so there's 16 total bones. Okay. Now, what's another amount of bones that she could have?
She could have 9 bones.
Okay, 9 bones. How many bones would Whiskey have then?
She would have 5 bones.
How'd you figure that out?
Because you minus 1.
Well, if Tinky has 9 bones, how do you figure out how many bones that Whiskey has?
You subtract 4.
You subtract 4. Great. So how many total bones are there? 9 plus 5. What is 9 plus 5? 9 plus 5 is?
14.
14, very good. So in this example, there'd be 14 bones. Let's do one more example. So pick another number of bones that Tinky might have.
Tinky might have 11 bones.
Oh, okay. Tinky might have 11 bones. Okay. How many bones would Whiskey have then?
7 bones.
7 bones. Awesome. How many total bones would there be?
18 bones.
18 bones. Great. Good job. Okay, now let's see what happens when Tinky gives Whiskey 2 bones. And let's look at each one of these examples. What happens when Tinky gives Whiskey 2 bones? Okay? So Tinky gives 2 bones to Whiskey. Okay, so now I'll just write T and W. Now how many bones does Tinky have? She started with 10 and she gave 2 bones to Whiskey. So how many bones does Whiskey have? I'm sorry, how many bones does Tinky have when she gives 2 bones to Whiskey? She started with 10, now she has 8. How many does Whiskey have? She started with 6.
And she has 8.
She has 8. Interesting. Now on this one, Tinky started with 9 bones and she gave 2 bones to Whiskey. How many does Tinky have now?
7.
7. Okay, and Whiskey started with 5 bones and now she got 2 from Tinky.
She There's 7.
She has 7. Ooh, very interesting. Now in this one, Tinky started with 11 bones and gave 2 to Whiskey. So how many does Tinky have now?
9.
9. Interesting. Whiskey started with 7 and she got 2 from Tinky. So how many does she have now?
9.
9. Well, look at that. So every time that Tinky started with 4 more than Whiskey and gave her 2 bones, what happened?
You got the same number.
Both dogs had the same number of bones. Can you believe that? So how many more bones does Tinky have than Whiskey?
They're the same.
They're the same. She has 0 more bones than Whiskey. That's pretty interesting. Now I wonder if that's always going to be true. Do you want to see how we could use some X's to do that?
No.
No, not today. Okay, that's fine. We'll skip that today. But this was a good approach on a problem when you weren't sure how to do it. Make a chart. How many bones does Tinky have? How many bones does Whiskey have? And make up some examples. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And what did those examples tell us over here?
Every time you subtract two somethings from somebody, everybody ends up with the same number.
Everyone ended up with the same number, right? So this is a great example of sometimes you're going to have problems that you don't know how to do. And so what you can do is you can make a simpler problems, like we did here, and then they show you what happens. That's really a great strategy, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a good problem?
Yeah.
All right, awesome.